Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am finally back to work full-time, which means that I am wearing makeup full-time. So I figured I would go ahead and sit down and film my makeup I'm gonna be wearing to work today. Let's just jump right in. I don't wanna do a long intro. I'm gonna jump into the eyes first. I'm gonna start by priming my eyes with the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. This is in the shade NW20. If you'll notice on my eyelids and underneath my eyes here, I have some like redness, like discoloration. I actually did a skin tightening treatment with my skin tag zapper that I used a few videos back. If you guys haven't seen that one, check that out. But not only does it burn off like moles and things like that, but you can actually tighten your skin with it as well. I've done 2 treatments in this area. I had a little bit of sagging here and right here. This eyelid, you guys know, has always kind of been a problem for me. So I went ahead and tightened up my eyelids as well. And it actually worked. You can actually see more of my eyelid on this eye than you ever could before. It's always been so much different from this eye to this eye. This has always been my problem side. It's gonna need another maybe time or two to go over that and to tighten it again. And it takes about 3 or 4 months for it to heal and for you to see the final results of that treatment. So once that is done, I will probably go back in and treat it a second time. And who knows, maybe a third time if it needs it. I don't know that this side's gonna need to be done as often as this side. But again, this is my problem side, so this is where I really wanna treat the most. And I'm not gonna do any major under eye concealing until after we've got the eye makeup done, but I do wanna get a little bit of this underneath my eyes, again, just as a primer for my eyeshadow. So I wanna do an orange eye look today, so I'm gonna start by going into Red Brick. This is by MAC. I am going to really just build up a giant orange smoky eye. I'm gonna throw some glitter on there too. I actually want my eyes to match my fingernails today. I haven't done anything super colorful for a little bit. Honestly, I haven't done any kind of makeup for a little bit. I mean, everybody's on quarantine. Most people are still at home. I'm back to work now finally. But then also having that time off, I wanted to do some stuff like the skin tightening. I wanted to touch up my eyebrows. I wanted to microblade my hairline. So that's a thing. And then I also moved during my time off. So I'm not really finished setting up my new place yet. It's mostly done and it's mostly decorated and stuff. But since I'm living in a studio apartment and I don't have that much space, and because of the way that I kind of had to set everything up and where I had to place my vanity and my bed and all that kind of stuff, I don't really think that my current setup is aesthetically what I would normally want in my videos, you know what I mean? So right now, if I took this backdrop down, you would just see like my bed behind me and the bathroom door, you know what I mean? So I figured I would go ahead and set up a backdrop for now until I figure out exactly how I want to do things. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but I'll get there. Now, I think the next thing on the agenda is gonna be to lose this quarantine weight that I've put on. No shit, I put on 15 pounds during quarantine. I roasted some veggies last night, made some chicken, and you know, just trying to get back on track and try to fit back into my clothes again, because anything that has like a button or a snap as far as pants goes, it's not happening. I've literally been wearing stretch pants now for, well, the entire quarantine. I was wearing pajama pants every day. And now that I have to actually fit in some kind of pants and go out into the world, everything that I'm wearing right now, again, has had like a drawstring. Everything's been like stretch pants because that's all I fit into right now. So the Bobby Hill body is in full effect. I suppose it's a good thing that Cedar Point isn't going to be opening this summer, because I would hate to be that guy that has to do the walk of shame. And you don't even have to be like fat to not be able to get on a roller coaster. I have seen people do the walk of shame where I look at them and I'm like, that dude's not even fat. And then I'm looking at myself like, oh shit, am I gonna fit? Because there's been a time or two where it's been pretty questionable anyway. And I was just like right on the line. But in all seriousness though, it totally sucks that Cedar Point isn't opening this year. I mean, they haven't officially said that they're not opening. And I think that people are really trying to be optimistic and saying, oh, they'll open in June or July once this calms down a little bit. And I really feel like there's just no way it's happening this year. And this was their 150th anniversary too. So think of like all of the merchandise that they paid for, like the special merchandise for their 150th, and for it to just be completely done. It's crazy what happened to the world this year. And in my line of work, I knew that we would bounce back really quick, because, you know, people are vain, you know? People want to get their hair done, even if they're not going anywhere, which I totally get. Even though I have to wear a mask all the time, that didn't stop me from going and getting lip filler last week either, you know what I mean? Which again, like nobody's even gonna see, but again, it's for me. It's not for you, it's not for them, it's not for anybody else, it's for me. It makes me feel better about myself, and so, you know, I did it. I spent the money, and I'm happy with my decision, you know what I mean? And again, feeling good about what you look like and feeling good about yourself. It's good for your self-esteem, it's good for your mental health, so I think that that kind of stuff is important. And so hairstylists are essential again. Let's see if we end up being ground zero for the second wave of this thing. I feel like it could totally happen. This makes me feel normal again. You guys should have seen my face over the past few weeks. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably already saw it. And I am in the middle of filming a video. It's like my journey of the skin tightening with that skin zapper device that I bought on Amazon. Again, it was a $20 device. Probably something that you shouldn't be doing, but I'm doing it anyway. And there is a video coming, but it's a long time off. I didn't want to just do it once, show you my results, and then let you make your decision from there. Before I keep running my mouth, I'm gonna go into this darker brick red. This is also by MAC. I think it's called I'm Into It. It might be called that, I'm not sure. But what I've noticed with the Fibroblast skin tightening is that, kind of like microblading on Instagram, it's really rare that you see how things look after they've healed and settled down. You see a lot of what it looks like right away after the service is performed, but you don't ever really see a lot of healed results. So people aren't ever really sure what to expect. And definitely with the skin tightening, if you really dig on Google, you'll see a few pictures of what things look like when they're about 3-4 months healed. And the results that I saw seem to be really good. And that's why I went ahead and tried it on my own skin. I actually did start on my neck. That's the very first place that I started. But again, that's been documented, so we will get a chance to see how that worked. I think that the biggest improvement that I've seen so far is this area here. This was so droopy and so jowly, and doing the procedure twice with the skin tightening has really actually made a difference there. But again, we're gonna go over all of that in that video, so look for that. Probably next winter is when you guys will see the results of all of that. But I'll tell you what, it is nice to see more visible eyelids starting to happen on this side of my face, just to have a little bit more symmetry. Now, I'm always gonna have deep set eyes, so I still don't think that I'm ever really gonna be able to do like winged liner and that kind of stuff. Your anatomy is your anatomy. You can alter things a little bit, but I mean, you can't really change bone structure all that much, which is fine because I already spend way too damn much time putting on my makeup anyway, so not using like a liquid liner and having to do like a wing and all that kind of stuff, that would just add so much more time to what I already do. So it's probably a good thing that my bone structure is how it is. Now, since I have to wear a mask all day at work, if I'm gonna wear makeup, I really have to make it count in the eye department because, again, you're not really seeing any of the bottom half of my face. So lipstick is pointless. A full face of foundation is pointless. So, you know, really just the stuff that you see, make that count. And then good old trusty Night Moth lip pencil from MAC. You guys have seen this in so many of my videos. This is my favorite pencil for the waterline. If you've never tried this, pick one up. It's so good. I don't think I've ever used it on my lips, but I use it on my waterline at least 2 or 3 times a month. And so for my upper lids, I'm actually going to use this custom blend of glitter. I put this together to use on my fingernails for a gel manicure. So I basically just layered like clear gel, a coat of glitter, more clear gel, another coat of glitter until I had full opacity on my nails. And I think there's about 5 or 6 different colors of glitter in there, which I will list down below. But of course, I'm gonna pack them right over top of the NYX glitter primer. You guys already knew that was gonna happen. And we will match the eyes to the fingers. Okay, so I have cleaned up the fallout with a little bit of micellar water, and then I added a little bit more eye cream to the under eye area. And now we are ready to get into foundation, which now that I have to wear a mask at work all day, every day, doing your foundation is really easy. Now, I haven't clicked on any of them, but I feel like I've seen some videos, maybe more Instagram videos than actual YouTube videos that are showing you how to do mask-proof makeup. And honestly, if you're having to wear a mask all day, I don't see the point in putting on any foundation at all on the bottom half of your face. Like, what's the point? Today, I'm using the MAC Face and Body Foundation. This is in the shade N1, and I'm just gonna build up 2 layers of this with my wet beauty blender. And this is supposed to be like budge proof and transfer proof. But again, I think that if you have something kind of like touching and rubbing up on your face at all throughout the day, I don't care how transfer proof they say it is. I mean, how often have you had sunglasses on top of your foundation, and then you get to where you're going and you pull them off and you've got like dents on the side of your nose? A mask is going to do the same thing to your nose, your cheeks, to all of those areas. So I'm just not even gonna bother. And again, it just makes my makeup application so much quicker. If you're only having to do half of your face, it's like, shit, might as well just do it that way. I love Face and Body because it's really skin-like. It's a really light coverage. It's buildable, so you can build it up to a medium coverage. And then anywhere where I feel like I need more coverage, I just go in with a concealer and hit those spots really quick. So I'm taking my foundation just over the top of the bridge of my nose, but I'm not even taking it down to the tip of my nose at all. Again, there's no point. I'm gonna have a mask over that area. It's funny because the other day at work, I had my makeup on, and you know, between clients in the break room, I would take my mask off. But at some point, my boss came in and she just started laughing, and she's like, "You look like an alcoholic with that big red nose." And it's true, I did. But again, I don't really care that much, and I'm not worried if somebody's gonna see me with like half my face painted and half of it not. That's just not something that I really care about all that much. So this is just how I'm doing things right now. And of course, for, you know, like pictures and things like that, I'm definitely gonna do a full face when I'm doing, you know, like Instagram makeup or whatever. But for as long as I have to go out in public with a mask on, this is how I'm doing my makeup. I'm only doing the top half. And I mean, you know, you're gonna wash your mask after every time that you wear it. That's fine. But I feel like if you're building up a lot of foundation on the inside of a mask, like it's just gonna get disgusting. And at some point, the makeup's just not gonna wash off of it anymore, and it's gonna be permanently gross. I'm going back into the NW20 concealer, and I am going to just kind of hit my under eye area here, make sure that the dark circles are covered. And I'm not gonna take that down any further than just like right underneath my eyes. And again, like these areas here that I burned off with the Skin Tag Zapper to tighten the skin, I think that this concealer does a pretty decent job of covering that up. And I think that really most of the masks kind of cover this area anyway. Kind of hit some of these zits that I have going on right here. And we'll start setting things down with powder. You may or may not know, my favorite powder cocktail is a self-made one. This is a Frankenstein cocktail of the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in either the lightest shade or the next to lightest shade. I probably should know that. And the Ben Nye Pretty Pink Translucent Face Powder. Now, I feel like using that concealer as a primer for my eyeshadow on the under eye might not have been the best choice, because the more that I really look at that area, it is kind of broken up a little bit and the eyeshadow is faded right there in that area. So I can do one of two things. I can pack some more shadow into that area, or I could throw some glitter underneath there. I might go for the glitter, we'll see. But you see, that's my red alcoholic nose that my boss was talking about. Pretty accurate, actually. And then I'm gonna go in and do my regular contouring stuff. This is Bone Beige by MAC. This one, again, really flattering for my skin tone because it is very pink. It's like a pinky brown. And it just really works for my coloring. And I like to use this as kind of like a base shade for my contour because you guys know this too. I don't like to just use one shade of contour. I like to go in with a couple of different colors and kind of build things up that way. Now, another thing that I did over quarantine is not only did I touch up my eyebrows with the microblading, but I decided, would it work if I microbladed my hairline? And my hairline over the past probably 2 years, I've noticed has started to get a little patchy, which I don't think that I'm going bald, but I mean, this hairline is starting to slip a little bit. And so while I was microblading my eyebrows, I went ahead and I did my hairline. And I definitely need to go back in and touch it up again. But for the most part, it held on pretty well. Like, in this area here where it was starting to go, it definitely held on pretty well along like my temple area. We did okay in some of this area here. I'm really starting to get patchy here and here, and it's almost like the microblading didn't take as well here and here. So I'm gonna have to go back in and I'm gonna have to do it again. What I would really like to do is that procedure where they go in and they suck out your blood, take the plasma out of it, and then inject it back into your scalp where you're starting to thin or lose hair. And it's supposed to work really well. So I think that I am going to try that in the next year. We'll probably do that, see how that works. Before I have to go in with something more invasive like hair surgery or something like that, you know what I mean? But for right now, I'm pretty much just taking care of that with contouring powder and really kind of just like packing it into those areas to kind of fill in my hairline. But once I touch up the microblading a little bit more in that area, I think that I'll probably have less of that I need to do. And for right now, I think that the worst of it is really just this center area here. Just in case you were wondering why my hairline looked so fucking crazy right now. That is why. Going in with my second contour color, I believe that this is Taupe by MAC. I had hit pan, and then you know what happens. Once you hit pan and then your powder product becomes like a ring in the pan, at some point it just starts breaking more and more and more every time you put your brush in there. So I just kind of broke up the powder and put it into this little travel jar, and I can use it without it being a complete and total mess all over the place. And I'll tell you what, almost 41 years into my life, and this is the very first time that I have ever lived on my own, all by myself, and I fucking love it. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Complacency. Because again, like I said, my job is very social. So when I'm not at work, I really do feel very antisocial. So to come home and there's nobody there, except for your dogs, of course, it's just the greatest feeling ever. Old man sits in front of a camera and paints on his hair because he is old and balding. Get a little bit of blush on. This is Blush Baby by MAC. I really like this one too, apparently, because that one's got the ring of death there, which at some point in the near future, it will probably need to be put in a travel jar because it is about at this point where things start breaking. So let's go ahead and blend out that under eye, get rid of that harsh edge, and get things looking a little bit more raccoony, the way that we want them. This is definitely looking a little bit sloppy, but again, I haven't really worn any makeup for a while, so I'm just kind of getting back into it. And since that dark shadow that I smoked out my lower lash line with is still kind of looking a little faded and broken up to me, I think that if I go in and pack more shadow on top of it, it's just gonna end up happening again. So I am gonna go ahead and cover that area with a little bit of glitter. I'm gonna use Lit Cosmetics Black Magic Woman. This is a really nice, dark, plummy, purpley kind of color that has a little bit of a green shift to it. I figure that'll look kind of cool with what I have going on my upper lid, since that's more of a pinky orange with a green shift. So the two colors will kind of work together, and then I won't have to worry about the makeup breaking up on my under eye later on. Now for highlighter, I'm gonna go into the shade Top It Off. This is from the BH Cosmetics Duo Highlight 9-color palette. I really like this one. I like the formula, I like the shades. I'm thinking that I really wanna try some more of the BH highlighters because this one just works so well. They're really, really blinding. They're really pigmented. They blend out really easy. They don't fade throughout the day. They're just a really, really good highlighter, and they're really cheap. They're really affordable. So I'm gonna pop this not only on the inner corners, but I'm also going to highlight my cheekbones with that as well. Okay, so let me just get these brows and lashes in order, and we'll be right back with the final look. And that is the final look, complete with a face mask. This one I actually got through a user on Instagram that's making masks at home. His username is Fifth Sun, and I will link him down below. If you wanna buy any of his masks, you can DM him, and I think set up payment through PayPal. But he has a bunch of different colors, a bunch of different patterns. They're all really, really cool. This one is definitely my favorite, but I will link him down below if you want to pick up a few masks. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys on the next one.